What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and now this is what you want to see. Is this hero going to be a capable first E5 hero? So we're just going to jump right into this here. We should be able to take this hero directly up to 10 star, I believe here, unless there's just not enough food. Oh, there's plenty of food. I wonder what we're being limited on. Maybe like the actual 9 stars or something. Or those are those guys are like considered elite. That's why. So we're gonna bring him straight up. We already have the food. We're gonna leave the Eloise mostly alone. Yeah, so we can just go ahead. I already made sure our food was built yesterday. If you guys saw the prep video on everything that we did, we talked more about why we were choosing this account and everything. So if you didn't see that video, you might want to just check that one out first, just to see the preparation, the guild tech, all those explanations of why we were doing specific things to prepare for this new Abyss Warrior. And let's get going. We're going to bring him straight to E5. We have plenty of resources to do everything from scratch, so that if we even have to, we could test to see how he is maybe as a second E5 if he turns out to not be all that great. I do think I'm going to leave Balance Strike on him for the time being. Gear wise, we are going to have to upgrade his gear too. Let's just quick upgrade this all the way to the top. I do think getting something with like block HP or block attack would be really nice to see. We could save one of these as like the bone stock ones too. Speed attack, we shouldn't need speed for most of the things we're doing. Let's try, oh man, okay, yeah, I think that's the one I want. I think I want block attack, because the amount of defense you get from blocking is so useful. So useful. The other thing we're gonna do here is we do need to transfer over to the Grey Dwarf's Blessing. We do want to convert a set of our gear here over to this hero. We're not going to worry about like re-rolling it just yet, I don't think. We do want a warrior set. We're going to convert it. That's good enough. Like I said, we're not going to go too crazy with this. We do also need that crown from you, which is solid. We have that set up, and we're going to start with 0 imprints. We're just going to start there. However, we're definitely going to invest in that. The other thing that you should be able to do very early game as well is do a Soul Temple Awakening. We have a free one, which is perfect. Let's see if we just hit the first ever S tier or higher hero copy. Absolutely not. The worst of the worst. This is a perfect example of how an early game account would go. So, like I said, we got him all built up. We have his gear set up. We have his levels. We're not going to put him in a home or anything like that. We're going to leave him straight at V0. Now, I don't think there's really any supporters like in the Abyss faction like others that you kind of want to try to use. So we're just going to chuck like anything into this team. We got some stuff for building heroes. We got some Glory Temple stuff, it looks like, as well, which is cool. We got another 9 star. We got I guess some more dust as well. That's pretty nice. We'll take that. Sealand, let's go into it. Let's jump right in. We have a Phoenix that is not max. It does have max attack and HP runes, but it does not have max on the other things. So let's see how this goes. Now, this should be a pretty crushing defeat in the early stages here. I'll see if we just put another copy of him in there. That's pretty convenient, right? I don't think that it really matters what heroes we put in at this point, unless we want to build some support heroes as well along the way, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Either way, this is a great example to see how his abilities actually work. You can see the that's a pretty fancy looking version of the hero. I actually don't have that image file. I wish I did. But that is the icon there. We can see as the rounds tick, it does tick down. That's really interesting. I want to see the interaction with having like another 9 star version on the bench here. Oh yeah, we got 10 copies. I'm gonna level this guy up, and I'm actually gonna put a bomb out there, potentially. Maybe we can. We'll see. Oh yeah, we got tons of dust. That should not be an issue. So let's just do this real quick. I kind of want to see if we can get him to survive too, and see how the bomb interactions, like if the bomb's already out from the other hero, does his ability then just make it tick down? And if that's the case, having a ton of these guys along the way is going to be really, really awesome. So let's skip through a bunch of these. I feel like we'll go to like 10, and then we'll potentially start watching. I think his damage is just going to be straight up good enough to not matter. We're probably going to need like 7 more of these. Let's keep going. Let's start watching the battles, see how the damage output actually looks. So right there, beginning the battle, he gets that out right there. The active counted that down and placed a new one. So you'll see this is at a 2. That's because the 5-star version used his active ability and it made it tick down. So you can kind of see that nice AoE we got going on as well. It is a passive ability, I think, so that part will not heal, just the main attack. But you can see the amount of armor they're stealing. It is a ton. He's stealing 40% right now without any imprints, which makes him extremely tanky, and that's what we want to see, is a super tanky hero as a first E5. That way you can afford to use Balance Strike without fear of him potentially dying. So kind of see how this actually plays out. There's another bomb. Yeah, having extra 5-star Gaggies is actually pretty useful. I'll be honest, if you can keep them alive, that can really ramp up his damage like a ton. Because we don't really care about him placing bombs. We just want him to count down the ones that Gaggie already has out. So one thing I've noticed, the counterattack is giving it to the boss, which is good. But again, he's not doing a ton of damage here necessarily. I think maybe we just want to go with like a crit stone to give him more healing. I don't know. Let's see if we can reroll something a little different on this stone. Because if he's, I mean, crit HP is actually not a bad one. Because we're going to need a decent crit chance for this Balance Strike to actually take effect and actually have him heal. The crit HP is kind of like a nice little mixture between the two. We do need crowd control removal. I'll give it a couple tries. Not a great sign that he already died, but let's see how this actually plays out. It's going to be hard to compete with someone like Eloise, because Eloise can do Sealand 20 literally at like E3, I think. You don't even need E5. His damage does seem lacking the way we build him, though. The fact that he only hits front row feels kind of bad, but once he does take out the front row, that does mean he's going to hit the entire back row with his attacks, which does become pretty significant. Yeah, that actually, you just need a little crit chance to actually get that healing going, and I think we're going to be in a good spot. So we can probably skip a few more of these before we see defeat pop up. There we go. At 16, it looks like we ran into a defeat. Let's see how the battle is progressing. Again, maybe if we just get a couple extra Gaggie copies for the early rounds, that could be really cool, having those bombs ticking down and going off. But again, you can't discount how much armor you're gaining in these rounds, because stealing 50% armor from the enemies, I imagine they have a decent amount of... He's not healing much. He really isn't healing much, which is sad to say, even with those... Well, I mean, part of the problem is he's not really critting. I wonder if he's innately has enough damage reduction that you could go a different artifact as well. Because again, like, the problem here is we're just not critting, so we're not getting the heals off. Yeah, it's down to the wire. Do we have like a regular Punisher staff on this account? I wonder. Can't remember if I saw that, because oddly enough, this might be a good artifact for him. We're just gonna power level this up. We're not gonna go for like a 1-star version or anything like that. We're just gonna go with a plain bone stock, because really this is not an artifact you want to upgrade, because it's not used by many heroes nowadays. It was once the best of the best. Tis no more. We could go for a crit attack stone as well to really double down on the amount of damage we can potentially produce with it. Speed crit, we definitely don't need the speed. You know, precision actually might help here. The crit precision stone Crit armor break, there it is. Crit attack. So let's go a more offensive route and see how that works out. 58% crit chance, a lot of extra crit damage. And I think that's going to be the survivability we need because he's already a pretty tanky hero, I must say. There we go. That felt a lot better, to be honest. And you can see here, he's still pretty tanky. Ew, he's still managing to not crit, though. That feels so bad. There you go. You got a crit there. Needs a big crit. Oh, no. The crits aren't keeping up. Oh, no. They're not keeping up. It's not enough healing. Holy cow. I can't believe it. Again, we're at Sealand 15 completion with absolutely no void imprinting, which is a rare thing. Usually, once you get to like E5, you're most likely going to be able to put at least some stellar onto that hero. So we will do that next. We'll go to like a V1 and see how far V1 brings us, because that's going to give us more HP, attack, damage reduction, all those things. Man, it's really the healing of the backline heroes. The fact that they just keep going is what's really annoying in this fight. Because it's taking these frontline heroes down take way too long to start working on the back line. And it almost just feels like damage is the issue at this point. Although we do have 3 rounds, we have a burn synergy, which is really cool. One more round here. It's not another active though, so not quite enough. So the next part of the testing involves going to a round. We'll say V1, see what V1 does. If V1 doesn't work, we'll then go to V2. If V2 doesn't work, then we'll have to contemplate how strong this hero is, because a lot of heroes do need some void imprinting to get Sealand 20 or Sealand 20 done in the early game. It's not like a guaranteed unless it is, of course, Eloise. Even I think our Home's Young, we needed like V1 or V2 to get Sealand 20 done because there was RNG involved. It just made things easier. But it is kind of funny that like a more offensive build kind of works out for him. Getting multiple of those bombs out is going to be really awesome. That way they're alternating, they're ticking down, they're doing more AoE damage. We do have to take out this front line next turn. Come on. Take him out. So close. There we go. All right, so now we're working on the back line. Perfect. So V1 made an absolute huge difference in the amount of survivability and the damage we're producing. And I'm honestly surprised that a Punisher staff is doing so well with this hero. Doing absolutely amazing. Also, part of this comes down to if we're counterattacking and getting that like extra bomb out so that they're alternating explosions. That does play a pretty big role in the amount of damage we're outputting. That one just procced that one. Damage is ramping up here and it is becoming a little more difficult. Although that was a gigantic crit that we just got. Oh, that was a lot of damage coming in. That was a ton of damage. So I think we'll give this another try. And then we're going to up it to V2 and see how he does as a V2. Just remember that even some of the older heroes, like you kind of needed V2 plus to get Sealand 20 done, like in Nosuke and stuff. You can get it done for less, but it does take a lot of RNG. And of course, we're trying to keep this to a condensed video that we can break down and see the power progression scale as he gets stronger. This one's not going too well from the looks of it. The amount of healing incoming is just an absolute ton. Really need to get this bomb tick and our active to take out the warriors here. Not quite enough. And we got a bomb to go off. Not quite enough. So we've gotten 16 cleared out so far. Let's move on. Let's do V2. Because again, V2 is only, what, like 3 spheres essentially that you got. It's not too hard to get there. It doesn't take too much time. By like 5 more attempts. I imagine this means 17 is going to get cleared out. Because like we were barely missing those cutoffs to get the warriors down in time to then do a big burst amount of damage. Let's see. I just love the animation of the bomb ticking though. Granted, this hero also builds up very well with the the Phoenix buffing, but we do need to keep a burn on them in order to get that buff against that target. Front row should go down this round. Yeah, pretty much. That's gonna tick, and then we're on to the back row. Perfect amount of damage. Yep, so going up to V2 was a nice boost. Of course, this definitely means that he's nowhere near as good as Eloise. I was not expecting him to be anywhere on the level of Eloise. That's a very difficult thing to accomplish. But let's see how this goes. Hopefully we don't have to go much further, because some of the newer heroes we've had to go to like V3 or V4 for them to get a C-Lane 20 done, which isn't horrible. You do want to try to get there as soon as possible, but if your 3-star income isn't keeping up, it's not as important. Does look like we're going to take out the front row at the end of this round here, because this is going to count down. Oh, I guess it took to the beginning of the next round. Let's see if we can do this in 4 rounds. We have an active here, which is good. Puts another bomb out. We have Phoenix Synergy. Stealing the armor. I mean, the armor is just such a huge boost to our survivability. On to 19. Feeling pretty confident. Hopefully. Hopefully confident. We'll see. Damage feels a little lacking, but I think we're gonna be okay here. I don't know. They just keep healing up for so much. We really need to take those front lines down sooner. We got 2 bombs out, which is really good. Next round's gonna be a lot of damage. Not quite enough though from the looks of it. Even with getting another active here. The problem is hitting the front row for too long means we just start missing out on damage on the back row, and that feels really bad. I think we're gonna have to take this to V3 and see how V3 does. I hate heroes that just hit frontline, to be honest. It's like one of the worst designs you could put for hero is like just front row. It should, like, if this ability hit 3 random targets, it would be so much better than just the wording of frontline. Yes, that does mean 1 extra target, but oh, this one's looking a little better. Wait, we got 4 rounds for this back line. I think that's going to be enough. Maybe. Ooh, that was a really big hit there. Yes, we did it. So V2 was enough for C-Lane 19. I'm thinking 20 it probably is possible, especially if we build up some other support heroes that would be better off in this situation. That's going to set both of these off, I think. Yep, so that was a decent amount of damage. We did get a stun off as well. Got another bomb out. We'll get another tick down there, and then end of round damage. This is working out solid-ish. This is pretty good damage. They should go down around... Oh, the healing from those actives is brutal. Should go right down here in round 10. Oh, it didn't. Not quite enough damage, which means we're not going to have enough rounds and we die off. So 20 is... I'm just going to put it out there. 20 is most likely possible with a Gaggie as your first E5 hero, but we're going to take this a little further. We're going to go all the way up to V3, and it's probably... Actually, let's do it. Yeah, we might as well do V3. V3, this should be a cakewalk, I would imagine. I imagine 1 attempt should be all we need. This gives him a ton more attack, HP. It also enhances his last ability too. Sadly though, the fact that you can't put out multiple bombs around besides alternating getting hit and using your active feels kind of bad. The spoilers that we got, or the preview of the hero, sounded better, because it said like it can hit several targets, but our data mine said it can only affect 1 target. Turns out it can only affect 1 target on these, which feels bad. Ooh, this is not a good run right here. We are not critting, and we're not getting the healing we need. That was decent, but again, when we kill the target, not great. But... Oh, The double KO. It's definitely doable at V2 plus, I would say. You probably don't need to get all the way to V3 with this hero to get Seal and 20 done. Which does mean it's an okay option for first E5 hero. I would not say it's amazing, but if this hero turns out to be a good first E5 hero, or sorry, first Transcendence hero, then this isn't the worst path possible. We've seen other heroes perform much worse lately in the past year that were the non-Transcendence version of the future Transcendence heroes. This hero's performing solid, still nowhere near the top tier heroes like Holmes Young, Eloise, of course, but as you guys can see, that was pretty smooth right there. We are going to take this hero up to E4 now. I highly doubt he's going to get any progression in 21 plus, but this does mean his active skill is enhanced, does more damage, but again, like I said, this is probably going to be an instant KO. It's worth testing to see how it would work out though. The enemy does go first, which feels bad in a lot of these scenarios here. And they do shield. Looks like we're not even going to break through the shield. So yeah, Seal and 20, V2 plus. Again, not the worst thing we have seen. Because other early Transcendence heroes like Betty was not good. Ilamak was horrible. Arania was bad. Jeester was okay. Freya was bad. I mean, he's okay. Both Vulcan and Natalie were both pretty solid. But honestly, he kind of fits a really good niche. It works. It definitely works. However, I wish these abilities hit multiple targets, especially this one. I wish this would trigger multiple times on different targets. Same with the active. I wish it was wish it would put more than one bomb out. That would have been really sweet, but it is what it is. He is Seal 20 capable in the early game because, again, just a reminder in case you didn't see the main video, we have no treasure train. Our monster is not maxed out, and we literally have not a single star spawn. So it's like we just had an E5 hero fresh and everything. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how he performs. We're going to do more testing later today as well. I'll see you guys then.